Sorry, 1 second here. Just got to Neo Gaia, and then we'll just jump in here. All right. So welcome everyone to the virtual desktop experience. So this is a slightly experimental here. So I just want to make sure that everyone at home can hear everything that's happening here. So I'm just gonna.
What is this?
Sounds good to me. So it is gorilla time. Is the situation as Shiny Crystal Pistol has pointed out in the chat? It is gorilla time. Behind me we see the band Coldplay transformed into CGI gorillas. And I'm James, and so Kevin, why don't you talk about your gorilla and introduce yourself?
I'm Kevin, aka Equip, and behind me is I think it's the first or the second boss from Strider. It's just a big old metal gorilla.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Mark, why don't you tell us about your gorilla?
My name is Mark, and I am R23X and VHS stills, and this gorilla is the gorilla from the cereal box Gorilla Munch, or the cereal Gorilla Munch. Also Russell My Jimmy's fame, I think, possibly. I'm not sure, but
that's a Weezer song, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm hoping it's not like a weird edgelord meme or something. This is a fucking cereal that I eat. Gorilla Munch.
You eat the Gorilla Munch.
I haven't actually eaten it for like 10 plus years. I'm not even sure if it's vegan, but I have eaten it. Sorry.
Kevin, your Weezer joke was really good. I just want you to know. I thought it was really good. So, you think Kevin's frozen, or is he just weird?
All of the above.
I think he's
frozen.
Kevin.
Kevin, I complimented
Gorilla Munch.
Kevin, don't say anything if you hate your Xbox. Oh man, rough. That's rough shit.
Oh god.
What about the guy in the southeasterly quadrant?
Wait, James. Kevin just texted a picture of what happened to the group chat. Why don't you pull that up so you can show Xbox developer Microsoft's quality?
Oh my god. Like manna from heaven. So
there it is.
Does it rain down upon us all. So folks, we're going to have to wait a little bit on Kevin because he chooses to put his life in the hands of Microsoft hardware. And folks, this is what you get. They do give you this nice QR code, which is great. They have information about the issue and possible fixes, because those always lead to solutions, you know. So there you go.
I'm Tech. I'm part of the Gorillas band. Kevin has returned.
Welcome back.
Got the old blue screen of death there.
Yeah, I was just sharing.
Anyway, We're all having a good time.
When the Xbox crashes, is it a green screen of death? Or?
Holy Lord. Okay, so a little context here. James and Kevin were arguing before the stream about the new Xbox. Kevin has
I'm not arguing.
Kevin's arguing with me. But the truth is, they were arguing over the Xbox. Kevin got a new Xbox. James was making fun of him because the controller
just making
has
fun of it.
batteries.
I mean, it's a fucking Xbox. Who cares?
James has been on. Anybody who has been on the New World Mixtape Club Discord server today knows that James has been ornery from the get-go.
I have not been ornery. Look, Tech was all being prideful about not putting cereal on his milk, and I just had to take.
Said IMO. I said in my opinion, so that no one would think that I was making a wild claim.
I can see through. I see beyond the walls.
Obviously, I think that I'm right, but like I'm being nice.
I pierce into the garden of flesh and bone. All right, it's all good. Look,
bottom line
everyone,
is that I don't like milk on my cereal.
I know, and that's fine. And it's fine.
I'm telling the chat. We've already been over this.
You eat cereal just dry?
Yes, I don't put milk on my cereal. It's not because I think I'm better than everyone else. It's because I don't like the way that the grains feel when they get a little bit wet at all. So I don't put any milk on them. I don't want any water. I don't want anything touching it to make it remotely soggy. I just want it to be crunchy, and then I want it to be done.
What about brownie batter?
I love brownie batter.
Would you put that on your cereal?
No, I wouldn't put brownie batter on my cereal.
Now hold on, because I would.
Because that sounds pretty good to me.
Probably would be. I would put Lucky Charms marshmallows in the brownie batter.
See now, Lucky Charms marshmallows. This is like tastes so gross without milk, for example.
Oh man, I love them dry. When I was a kid, I would try to take them out of the box and make a big stack of them. And then I would just try to bite, and then I'd be pissed at myself because I'd take out all the marshmallows.
Eat all the marshmallows in one go.
To this day, I still try. It's not like a anal retentive thing, but I do just kind of go for the cardboard pieces and leave as many marshmallows as I can for the end. It's not like I eat every single one and don't eat any marshmallows.
No,
but I definitely
you get a couple, for the regions. Yeah, you go for the regions. You end up with 4 marshmallows on your spoon once. Maybe you dip back in to only get 2 marshmallows on the spoon. So that, you end up with more at the end. I totally get it. That's the way to do it.
So, folks, we are back in Ubuntu, a flavor of Linux, and this is version... So, first we were in version 4, which, of course, was the first version of Ubuntu. Just like Star Wars started with 4. And this is the latest version, which is version 20. The original release of Groovy Gorilla was 20.10, and I think they're at 20 point something else. But
I hate it.
For fans of the show, you'll know that we did Ubuntu Warty Warthog, which was the initial release, and while we were researching Linux in that episode, we discovered that the most recent version was indeed called Groovy Gorilla, because animal alliteration, that's like the whole thing with them. And we saw this desktop, which just really made Mark feel uncomfortable, I would say.
It just feels like the design of this OS is like the epitome of like phoned in care taken. Just like, oh, here's a glyph of fucking Ray-Bans. I Google sunglasses. I Google Polygon Gorilla, and now it's done. Whatever. Like, fuck it.
It's cool care. Because it has the OS's logo on the sunglasses. I think that's pretty cool. I've even seen a version that can run on Raspberry Pi, and there's the reflection of the Raspberry Pi logo on each eye of the sunglasses.
I would love
to hear really useful.
I would love to hear this Gorilla's synthwave sound cloud.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, but it also
first track is like Miami Nights.
That's literally a synthwave group. Miami Nights 1984.
Really?
Yes, that's the name of that's an actual name of a synthwave group.
It
Yeah.
just might be like the new Muse single, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, honestly.
Lemma.
Oh, truly. Quad Lemma. Yeah, the Miami Nights 1984. I remember so they have a few they have a few pretty good songs. I don't listen to a whole lot of synthwave, but I do like Miami Nights 1984. And the last track on their first album has like a vocoder piece thing over top of it that's like, or like a, dialogue. Yeah. And it's like a robot android woman voice or whatever, and it's like it's like visit www.myspace.com/Miami Nights.
Damn.
It's like,
That's harsh.
yeah, but
Cringe pill.
We used to put our MySpace in the liner notes of our CDs, you know?
It's true.
Special
It wasn't
thanks,
20
and then all of our
it wasn't
favorite
20
bands, and then visit
Yeah.
our MySpace, you know?
It wasn't 2010, but yeah.
That is extremely true. So I'd also like to point out that right now we are seeing the Groovy Gorilla inside of the Slim book.
Yeah, what is this?
I was gonna
So-
ask that. What is the
so-
Slim book?
The Slim book is it's an all-in-one computer based on obviously the Slim iMac, the last generation of Slim iMacs. Yet it's called the Slim book, even though it's clearly not a book. I haven't been able to find actual pictures of the hardware, only these like clearly whack renders that just might be like Apple's, like photographs with the logo photoshopped out. But it is advertised as an all-in-one laptop that comes bundled with Ubuntu like on it, like ready to ship.
Wow.
That's a laptop?
No, this is a 24-inch desktop model. So I just thought this would be a fun place for us to land, but we're gonna go kind of old school here. We're gonna enter real school screen mode, because folks, we are actually inside the operating system right now. This is not necessarily an entirely virtual desktop experience. This is the actual experience. Here we are. I mean, we can do anything. We can use open source software to write letters,
James, real quick, there was in the chat, I believe Fang the Werewolf asked if you should get an iPad Air, I think. I can't see the chat anymore because this is like the first time I've ever not had the chat running in the background. Now I regret it.
No, that was a mistake that I made when I put all this together. But don't worry, I'm a professional here, so watch this.
If we can get a G in the chat for anybody who's watching on Groovy Gorilla OS right now. Don't worry, they'll pour in a sec, I'm sure. Any second now.
So I can't speak for...
Shiny Crystal Pistols watching on Groovy Gorilla version
Nice.
4.10 or whatever.
Okay, so there's the question.
Okay.
So yes, Fang the Werewolf
Yes.
NYC.
We got 2 viewers.
Let me tell you something. You don't want to mess around with those iPad Airs right now because they're still running on the old mobile chips, whereas they just released the new generation of iPad Pros that actually run on the M1 hardware. So it's the same chip that I have in this MacBook Air that's currently running my video right now. They've now put it inside of an iPad, making it basically, it's the same chip that's inside of the new MacBook Pros. Like, it's pretty insane. Because that chip inside of an iPad Pro, that thing's gonna run so cool, like not get hot while you're holding it, and the battery is going to last a very long time. And it also has the new micro XDR display, which is 1,000 nits of brightness and a super intense resolution. However, they are really expensive, so you're going to be dropping what you would drop on like, one of these on like a MacBook Air for it. But it's also sick because it's like an iPad. So you tell me what's right for you. What do you want to do with it? If you just want to watch Netflix with it and surf the web and play around with some music apps, then an iPad Air will be fine, although they're probably going to release some new ones in a few months.
Seems like can it run Groovy Gorilla, though? That's what I need to know.
And really, if you ever have a question like, now let's see if I can do this in real time here. This is going to be intense. Check this out. We know.
Yeah, I never thought about the battery being way better on. I thought that the M1 chip for an iPad would be overkill because I have an iPad Pro and it's an iPad. I don't know what it would need to have a full computer chip in it, but the battery would be one reason for sure.
Yeah, it was. I actually convinced my girlfriend to buy one the other night because she was using it. And she's like, "Oh, it's starting to get hot." And she has like the iPad Pro from a couple years ago. She paints on it with the Apple Pencil. I was like, bet you can get some sick trade-in for that dog. It's only like a year old. Sure enough, she got a lot of trade-in. So now I should be able to open Firefox here. Excellent.
Oh my god.
Wonderful.
Oh. Nice.
Kevin's picture.
Xbox!
Oh no.
But folks, let me let you in on a little secret. If you ever want to know, should I buy this Apple product or not, go to macrumors.com. And they have a great buyer's guide. These are the people that check all the patents that Apple's applying for and shit, and they get all the leaked information from the secret thieves, and they're basically the last word on all things Apple. So if you go to their buyer's guide, you should be able to click, right here. iPad Pro, buy now. iPad Air, it is listed as neutral. And you click on Y, and you can see, alright, it's been 214 days since the last release. However, it looks like there's usually a pretty large gap between releases. However, I have to however it once again, because now that they put the M1 in the iPad Pro, it's unclear if they're going to put M1s in all of the iPads, or if the M1 being inside the iPad will be what makes an iPad Pro. So I'm kind of with them. It's neutral, My initial instinct is like, man, I would get the iPad Pro. Sick. But then it's like, well, man, I don't want to spend all that money. And then just get the iPad Air. It's all good. And that's my final say. My only iPad, I've had it for 5 or 6 years now. It's that one it's like one of the first iPad Airs, but I only ever used it for watching Netflix in bed. So,
well, if it's neutral, then you're gonna want to get it now because pretty soon it's gonna be old troll.
iPad Mini, you definitely don't want to get. As you can see, it's
there are
it's a
many
dino.
things wrong with that.
It's a dino. It's a dino.
God.
But enough about me. So, Kevin, I told you I'm gonna leave it all at the door here, and I want to hear all about your Xbox, what you're excited about, what you love about it, and why did you get it, and what have you been playing on it?
I got it mostly to play. It sounds funny, but basically the 4K retextured versions of Xbox and Xbox 360 games. So you can play Panzer Dragoon and just pop in the original Xbox disc, and it plays at a beautiful 60 FPS native 4K. There's new textures on everything, and it feels like a new Panzer Dragoon game. It's amazing. Same thing with Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, Lightning Returns. And it seems like they've been just kind of on a tear of updating last gen games for better frame rates and better visuals. And my roommate had an Xbox One X in the living room for a while, and I really liked it for, like, you know, Game Pass is like $15 a month. You can just play, like, you know, tons of games right off the bat, download them to the PlayStation or to the Xbox. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice machine to have.
Well,
I got kind of sick of like bringing my PC out into the living room to play, you know, PC games on the TV. So it's nice to just have everything.
Yeah, I mean, consoles are nice. They make it easy. You know that your software is going to work. You don't have to worry about upgrading it. Everything will be fine, you know? And that's what that experience is all about. So I'm looking at the Game Pass right now. I've never actually looked at what's available on it, but...
They got fogs. You see that fogs up there? They got fogs.
I heard
that's
fogs.
That's cool. Yeah.
Foggers.
It looks very creative, very kind of indie.
Creative.
They got 2 Point Hospital up there.
That might be fun. That's actually probably fun, though.
Probably sweet.
Yeah.
I was watching a guy play like a firefighter simulator.
Firewatch
on
Fahrenheit?
YouTube. I don't know. It was pretty entertaining. The firefighter, you could like stand in the middle of the fire, and then he would go ah. Ah! Ah!
That's realistic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you can get The Sims 4 on there? That's cool. And this available on, is that Connect? Is this, Oh, no, Xbox One. That's what that means.
James,
Wow.
you should search Xbox ping pong ball.
Now, I don't think this is the right aspect ratio for this, but I would say this is Linux's fault. You know, this is a Firefox issue.
That doesn't look right to me.
Dude,
It's a little squished.
don't worry, it runs Crysis.
Jesus.
Do they? Never mind.
Go to
ahead.
YouTube and search Xbox ping pong ball, please.
Here we go. Mark is pushing hard for this, so we.
It's as far as I can tell, it's the only exclusive title currently available for the Xbox.
For the Xbox, it's the only. Okay. It's called ping pong and it's table tennis.
Here we go. It's the first hit there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's neat.
I gotta try that.
That's what I want to see, a video of that. I don't know if it's real or if it
I'm sure. I mean, it
No way.
expels a lot of hot air. It's a lot like me, you know. That's like a mom joke. Oh yeah, I want to hear what this guy has to say about it. Unbox theory. It doesn't even work in this fucking web browser.
BRB.
Wow. Gorilla failing us.
Spartan Assault. Well, that's cool, you know, that's great. Xbox, it's a lot of fun. Microsoft is a great company. Did everyone freeze, or?
Nope. We're still here.
Yeah, Battletech on there. Oh, that's funny. Final Fantasy 8. Not 7, though. A remake.
No, that's for 2027.
There's some good stuff on here. Honestly, this is more impressive than the PSN one, which I subscribed to because I just wanted to play White Knight Chronicles on a whim one night, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to subscribe to this.
I feel like Sony's gonna have to do something for, like, I don't know. PS Plus is kind of like, I mean, it's been pretty mediocre for a while. I feel like the free games are like okay, but they're just like stuff that
they did
really go out of my way.
They
to
did
play.
give away Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is pretty cool. And
That's cool. That's
did,
definitely like the coolest thing they've given away though in the past like year.
And I played a little bit, at least one evening, of Stranded Deep, which is really fun. Really enjoy that genre of game. You have a procedurally generated island world, and you have to, you know, do your best to survive, making tools out of sticks and twiddling fire stuff. You know, it's all good. But PlayStation Now is a separate service from PlayStation Plus, where PS Now is the streaming service. Although I think that they've just added some shit so that you can like download the games, because just the streaming of them was a little janky. I played.
Yeah, my roommate used to have PS Plus like for a trial, and it was super janky. I mean, like we have the fastest internet you can get, and like it's connected directly to an Ethernet cord, and was still like struggling to stream like a 720p PS3 game.
Now
it's not there yet.
This is something it's pretty fun. It's the original Banjo-Kazooie.
Cool stuff.
Nice.
Oh, don't sign me up.
No.
So there you go. You got Fable, one of the greatest RPGs ever made.
Dude, your upload.
Tech. Uh-oh.
What?
Tech.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh my god.
Everybody froze for a sec.
Yeah, ironically, I was complimenting your internet speed. Oh my god, did we go down?
Did we lose it?
No, we're good. I just stopped showing my screen for a second because everything was going haywire and it freaked me out.
Okay. Yeah, that was messing me up. Last time I was hosting too, it's like, for some reason, like showing the OBS screen into Skype does something bad to it.
What were you saying about my
back?
internet? I want to hear more about that though, Tech.
No, I was just excited because you seem to be averaging over streaming at like 6,000 kilobytes per second.
Yeah, I am still.
Which is insane to me. I get just over 2,000 when I have absolutely nothing else going on except for OBS.
You know why that is? It's because you're using a 2010 MacBook Pro without upgrading.
Mac Pro.
Mac Pro. Without, it's got the old Broadcom Wi-Fi card that does not support whatever the latest is, N or AC 802.11N. Is that the most recent, or is AC sooner than that? I don't know. It doesn't support the latest protocol of Wi-Fi connections. So that problem will go away when you get your iMac.
I'm plugged directly in, but
okay.
It's
so
just not
that
as fast as it can go.
Okay.
But it's gonna be sick fire when I get my new computer.
When does that drop in? Do you know?
I think it's supposed to arrive to me like mid to late June, so in about another month.
Hell yeah!
Did you get the one with the that has the Ethernet plug-in and the power brick? Did you get that version, or the model up?
I don't know. Ask James. He's the one who told me what to do. I don't know what I got.
Yeah, he got the 8. He got the 8 and 8. He got the expensive one. He got the good one.
Okay, nice. Cool.
Sweet. Very cool. Dude, can you bring back the USB-C? Can you bring back the view so that we can see?
Oh right, yeah, here. Well, I mean, it was giving me problems.
We're live.
It was giving me problems. Is what I was talking about.
Oh
yeah.
You can just pull up the Twitch window, like on a browser.
But I'll try one more time. I'm gonna give this one more chance.
We need to live react to pictures of hobbits or whatever. It's part of the show. If there's a delay of 10 seconds, it won't be as it won't work.
All right, how's that? Are we stable here?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, all right. Look, I have to go refill my coffee. So look, I feel a lot of negative energy coming my direction. All right, and today I'm just getting what I've put out a lot of negative energy into the universe, and it's coming all back at me tenfold. Because I am like the light of Amaterasu being reflected back at me from the mouth of my cave, where Kevin stands afoot, holding the great mirror.
Oh my god.
So, fine, you win, alright? I'm blasted away by my own darkness, and I'm gonna fill up this cup with a little dark. And you all can talk about what a great fucking game Fable is while I'm gone.
Kevin, have you played Fable?
I haven't. I watched my roommate play it, and it looks interesting enough, but it's not like aesthetically appealing to me in any way. It's just got too much like Western fantasy in it, and that's not. It's just not my aesthetic, really.
How I feel about it too. Isn't it Peter Molyneux?
I don't know. I don't really know much about the game at all.
Am I wrong about that? Isn't he the one that's like really annoying?
I'm not sure.
Guys like video games. Jesus, I'm just kidding.
When did your roommate play it? Like, how long have you been living with this guy?
He played it on his 1X when he bought that, which was in like Black Friday 2019 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, Peter Molyneux. He did Fable. Yeah. Okay. I guess I just know like so much about video games and sort of alienates you guys, but
You're a Fable expert, yeah.
No,
Fable scholar.
I feel like I remember reading like an article about, or like an interview with Peter Molyneux when like Fable 2 was coming out, and I remember like disliking him through the interview, and then on Twitter I feel like he's just showed his ass a lot, but maybe he's like misogynistic, like or something like that. I can't remember. If anybody in the chat knows anything about Peter Molyneux, please let me know. Oh my.
Now with that, I have dispelled all the fucking sour grapes out of this Skype. Alright? And that goes for me. And that goes for you too, Kevin. Alright? I want to see that grin, but I don't want it to be sardonic.
So sour.
Oh my god.
I just blew the horn, okay? They could hear this like 4 blocks away. This is like
So here's how the cycle goes: is I say something I like, James attacks me for it, and then I have to listen to James talk about how much he hates the thing that I like, and then I'm made to feel bad for like just taking the abuse, and then it's somehow my fault for being like sour or sardonic for just like taking this constant fucking beratement of things that I enjoy.
I came
because
at
it
this
doesn't fit James's corporate platform of his Apple walled garden, which reads to me like textbook elitism, but it also reads of a hugely inflated ego, and yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's not the one with the new Xbox. That was me sticking up for my boy.
And
but
look, okay, we're both dynamic personalities. I'm not being a mass manipulator here. I'm just being a master James. Okay, now you knew there was going to be some friction when you got an Xbox. I playfully teased about the battery thing, and then you teased right back about your Apple mouse that takes batteries and not plugging it in, turning the mouse upside down. We dance the dance, we waltz the waltz, week after week, day after day. You think I really care that you have an Xbox? It's fine, you know? And this...
I think you do.
But you have all video games, Kevin. It's fine. I expect you to have all video games, and I want you to have every Xbox. I want you to enjoy them. I want you to have like a gaming PC. I bought the case that houses your gaming PC, and I gave it to you. I bought PC hardware, intending to build a Hackintosh.
Let me tell you something about James. He does not care at all that you have an Xbox.
I really don't.
It is purely because it's funny to be antagonistic and brash.
I'm really that is the truth. And Kevin, I'm sorry because I know that you were in a bad mood, and I aggravated that quite literally. I've also been in a bad mood all day. As Tech was saying, I just zero patience, zero tolerance. You know, it's like every day we're faced with.
Everybody's taking Kevin's side of the shit.
I don't fucking care. That's
it's
great.
Okay.
That's fantastic. I
not
don't need you. Get out of my fucking face, all right? I don't need any of this shit, all right? every day we're faced with things, and we have to compromise, and we have to be tolerant, and sometimes we just reach a breaking point, which is like, you know what? No, like, fuck Xbox, fuck Microsoft. That shit sucks. You can make fun of me for using Apple products. I don't care. Whatever. Like, use an Android tablet. Have fun. It's awesome.
You guys need to duke it out in
It's awesome, man.
GNOME. Time to load up GNOME Tetris 2-player and just let out your aggressions in.
But it's not personal.
Ubuntu exclusive.
That's all I'm trying to say. It's not personal.
I just would rather define myself by the things that I like instead of the things that I dislike.
Oh, we're still arguing then? Okay, all right.
See, and that kind of response just makes me immediately want to go, we're all very proud.
Yeah, oh, wonderful.
See, that's why it's impossible to come to a, you just have to be like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've spent literally half my life with James. Team Kevin donated $1.
Yeah, let's keep track. Let's keep track.
Let's keep track.
And I didn't even want to I didn't want to make this thing today. I had given my whole day to put this, staring at this fucking gorilla. Because it was like, what's the plan, guys? And everyone was like, haha. I'm like, all right. I'll take care of that. It's like, it's just one thing after another. And it's like, yeah, sorry, couldn't do it. I was playing my fucking Xbox. I'm like, all right, great.
Wait,
I wasn't playing anything. I wanted to play.
Are you guys actually arguing?
I had to play it for about 2 hours since I got it on Monday. So
it's fine. It's fine.
A couple other things going on too.
We're all busy. We all love Microsoft. We all love Apple. We love it all, folks. They're all corporations. They're all evil. They're all raping the environment. They're all taking advantage of us. They're all, stripping the earth of rare minerals, using slave labor to make our fucking phones and watches that we think are so cool and so important. You can peel back the layers of society one after the other, and the only thing you're going to find underneath is a bunch of black mold and filth and mildew just stinking and rotting you from the inside out and giving you cancer and making your brain just fall to pieces inside your fucking skull until your skin falls off and you just become a pile of dust and blow away, just like Michael Jackson in the Remember a Time video. We're all just turning into dust in some CGI Egypt somewhere. Who fucking cares? It's fine. We're all alive. The earth is beautiful. We're lucky that we have language and poetry and Team Jamestown.
Team Jamestown.
We have language and we have poetry and we have art and we have CGI Coldplay. We have Gorilla Munchers or whatever. It's fine. All right.
I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. Yeah, I don't like that one.
It's seriously fine all the time. All right. It's just bad news if Kevin and I are both in stinky flowers, then you better believe the whole bouquet is going in the garbage. And so Tech is being a great moderator. He's in a fine mood today. I know he's had a lot of brownie batter, and I think that's positively affected his disposition.
It certainly did. I was working on music, and I thought to myself, God, I wish I had a snack. And then I was like, I have the ability to make brownies, which was intentional because I bought brownie batter and I went out of my way to buy vegetable oil, which I do not normally have because why would I have vegetable oil when I could have Pam? But I digress.
I've go puffed vegetable oil to make brownies.
Yeah, so yeah, it's important. B,
thank you. B, always the peacekeeper.
Thank you.
B's coming in to moderate the admins right now. We appreciate it, B.
But yeah, I got the brownie batter out. I looked at the back. It was like, do you want to make fudgy brownies? You only need 1 egg. Do you want to make cakey brownies? You need 2 eggs. 1 egg, thank you. Fudgy, please. Added the 3rd cup of water. Added the 3rd cup of oil. Mixed it all up. Realized that I don't have a square pan. I don't have an 8x8, and I don't have a 9x9. I just have a 13 by something, and it's not square. And I was like, I don't want to risk it. I'm just gonna eat the batter. And so So that's what I did. I just ate the batter straight out of the bowl. And why don't you guys go ahead and ask me, Tech, did you eat the batter with a spoon or a fork?
Did you eat the batter with a spoon or a fork?
I ate the batter with a fork because I don't like spoons. I don't appreciate spoons in general. I only want to use a fork when it comes to consuming food.
Oh, that literally made my rib hurt. You don't like spoons? What the fuck?
What was the viscosity of this batter?
It's one thick bit. It's delicious, delightful.
You're gonna hurt yourself with a fork one of these days.
We got Discoholic on Team Spoon. Come on.
Well, look. All right, look.
Sorry.
The point is, Kevin. Just pretend that the chat's not there. Especially pretend Tech's not here. Just, Kevin, you are my friend. I love you. I was being an asshole. I'm sorry. We all saw it coming. We saw the coming storm. Tech saw it a mile away. He's known since 10 a.m. this morning. And I was just not having it. But I will have everything for you. I have you.
I love you guys, and the reason I brought up my Xbox is because I wanted to talk about how great Final Fantasy 13 looks on the Xbox, and I know you guys like Final Fantasy.
And
Is Final Fantasy 13? So I'm doing this thing where I'm just diverting it. We're going down a new path. We're gonna all hold hands and go down this path.
We call it pivot. We got pivot.
Pivoting. Segwaying. Using a Citibank branded Segway. But I fell off the Segway. I skinned my knees. You guys are still holding my hands. I'm in pain. I can't reach my knees because I'm holding your hands. Please.
Like our severed hands?
Oh, Final Fantasy, thank you. Pick me up. Final Fantasy 13 on the Xbox. Is it like in some sort of Ultra K mode with
It's
4K.
keys?
It's basically a stealth remaster. It runs at native 4K. They redid all the textures, and they were able to pull the cutscenes from the original source before they were compressed.
That is pretty neat.
All of the cutscenes play at like just beautiful, glorious. It's probably 1080p upscaled, but they just look like immaculate. And the in-game graphics look insanely good. All the character models look really, really good.
It is an incredible looking game for a PS3 game.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy because when I first played the game, somebody let me borrow their disc 1. They had just gotten to disc 2, and all I had at the time was an Xbox 360. I didn't have a PS3, and it ran terrible on the 360. Like, you would hit the menu button, and like, you know how like when you go to the characters, they have like a short little animation of like, you know, them looking cool or whatever. It like took like 5 seconds to just load up that animation on the original 360. So it was like the worst version. And the cutscenes look even worse on the 360. But now it's the definitive best version. Digital Foundry did a whole video on it for the Xbox One X version, but they've like updated it even more for the Series X, and it just looks super good.
Sick. The game is incredibly beautiful. The music is awesome. The plot story is fucking awesome. The characters are pretty good. Lightning rules. I even like Snow. Lots of people don't like Snow, but I think that he's interesting and cool.
Informer.
I should say I think Snow is interesting as a character. I don't think he's cool, but that battle system is just, I can't go there with it. I simply can't. It has the same problem that the original Final Fantasy VII had, which is that there's really nothing that separates character class.
Sure.
I mean, there kind of is, but ultimately it seems like the goal is just to be a little bit of everything for every character in a way. And I don't know. I just very frustrating because I love Final Fantasy so much, and I want to love that game so much. maybe.
You can play Lost Odyssey on it, can't you? That's...
Yeah, I fired that one up too, and I thought that would have some improvements, but it doesn't. I mean, there's no loading times at all. Like, I think that was a problem with the original release, is like when you go into battle, it takes like several seconds just to load it up, and it's instant on the Series X. But there's no like graphical improvements or anything. It's just 720p running it,
Really?
upscaled, yeah.
I thought I saw a video about it looking better, but maybe I just don't remember how the original looks. But that's a game that I really, really, really love.
I mean, the art style holds up so well. It still looks great. Like that first,
too cool.
That first, like the exposition of it, and that first like cutscene, and when you're battling that like gigantic tower thing, and there's like a really cool like a bokeh depth of field effect with all those like soldiers in the background, and the like camera in the battle it like kind of pans in a really cool way.
I just want to play this game because I never had a chance to because I never had a 360. Is there a PC version?
I don't think so. I think it's console exclusive. But this was like one of the 3 games that I was like, okay, this will be worth buying the Xbox for. Is Lost Odyssey, Final Fantasy 13, and Panzer Dragoon Orta. Just like all like over 10-year-old games.
Well, hey, those are killer apps.
But yeah, Orta looks insane. Like it looks like could be a next gen title.
Orta looked insane on the original Xbox. I remember playing that game and being like, I don't understand. It's like the frame rate it must have run at like 100 frames per second or something on the like original Xbox back in the day. I don't know, something about it that I did not understand.
It runs really, really well on the original Xbox and through backwards compatibility on the 360.
Says it's on Steam.
Oh, Lost Odyssey is?
Nice. Oh, I should get that.
Yeah, that's sick.
It really feels like Sakaguchi really carried on his like Final Fantasy, ideas in this specific game. To me, it was like, oh, Final Fantasy 12. I don't know what's happening there, but this is like my Final Fantasy 12, basically. When I first played it, at least.
It definitely.
The music is just spot on, Uematsu. Yeah. Like the pacing. The pacing of it is just
There's a couple other cool, like.
Oh.
I'm not seeing a PC version of this. I think that might be fake news. Unless they were talking about some other game.
I swear I looked like all over because I was ready to just get the PC version and not have to get the Xbox and
all boy said, "Oh wait, I'm mixing it up with something else." So there you go. There it is,
dude.
So they're going to jail. Sorry, the police are on their way. These are the rules. I don't make them.
There's that game Last Remnant. I heard that was kind of cool. That
game looked cool.
I know it's like really divisive, but Blue Dragon. I know some people hated that one. Some people liked it.
Yeah, it's also Mistwalker, right? So.
Yeah, it was the first game with Sakaguchi and Uematsu, but then it also had that guy who does the
Toriyama.
art.
Yeah.
Toriyama.
Akira Toriyama, yes. Mr. Dragon Ball himself.
Not a fan.
There's Infinite in Discovery. Did I say that or? No, I said Last Remnant.
Yeah, you said Last.
Yeah, Last Remnant, Infinite on Discovery, Bravery Default. That's just kind of a lost era of RPGs for me. I feel it's just like, Bravery Default. Yeah.
Bravely Default. Yeah, I think
I heard that's good, but
Bravely Default. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good, but like, I think we just had like a certain era of our lives where we could devote a bunch of time to like solo RPGs or whatever, and it's just a different era. They're probably really good games, but yeah, it's gone now for me.
Yeah. I want to play that new Nier game. I still have not beat Nier Automata, but Nier Replicant. It's like a remake of the PS3, Xbox 360 Nier, and it looks really great. It looks really fun and stylish. My friend Joe got it. He said he's having a great time with it. He said it feels very Squaresoft and Yeah, I mean the styling is quite a bit different from Nier Automata, and it wasn't developed by Platinum, but the one of the Platinum directors like oversaw all the combat and stuff, so it's kind of been like platinumized, if you will.
Sick.
But that one was
how near, how far?
Very kind courtesy laugh.
Chuckle. Little chuckle.
Friends again. That's how it happens, and it's gain 1/2 star from that. It's all fine.
I can't believe we're both gonna be. James and I are both. We just found out that we're both going to be in Dayton, Ohio next weekend.
It's true. Didn't plan it that way.
Didn't plan it. I just said that I was going there, and then James was like, "What?
Shut the
I'm gonna
fuck
be
up.
there."
Dude, wait.
Shut the fuck up.
You guys were born there, or what? What's the story again? You worked at
Yes.
Jimmy John's together there?
No.
Oh my god.
That was a different. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, Mark.
What was
we
my
worked
last
at-
job? Do you guys know what my job was?
No, Mark. You've
I
always
don't
just
actually
been.
remember.
You've always just been famous.
Your last job was, you were a video game composer and a film composer, working with Denver
Yes.
Jackson, and then
Yeah,
you won
getting
an
invited
award.
to like award shows.
You had to go
I
to
worked
an
at a
award
grocery store
buffet.
once too.
Well,
I worked at a grocery store once. So
Would you guys
Once.
say that you're Dayton's finest exports?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the whole airplane
There.
and the car
the
self
car,
starter
yes,
and
starter,
the
yeah. I would say, yeah.
cash
Powered
register, powered flight.
No, I would say that I would say Death's Dynamic Shroud is a greater export than the cash register.
Well, I don't know. I mean, cash registers are used. Oh, the self checkout thing, that's a Dayton invention. That was before NPR jumped ship and left Dayton for Hotlanta, Georgia.
Is that why we had self-checkouts at every grocery store in Dayton, but then when I would move to another city, no one would have them?
That is absolutely correct. That was NCR
Wow.
technology developed in fabulous Dayton, Ohio. And as far as music is concerned, you have Guided by Voices, you got Kim Deal,
That's
you got
Those are the two.
Death's Dynamic Shroud, and that's just the way it goes. That's the lineage. I mean, you have, Giant Claw.
I got that new Giant Claw tape in the mail today.
Hey, yeah,
Awesome.
3 cheers for Giant Claw getting reviewed on Pitchfork. And actually, it was a very good review. It was the main review of the day on Monday, so yesterday.
cool.
Yeah, and it was a very good review. However, at 3 Gers for giving it a 7.9 despite not saying a single negative thing about it.
Well, that's the
7.9,
score isn't
They
about
couldn't
how
even just-
good the album is. It's about how well does this album fit into our narrative of popular music. And it's saying, this is 7.9 cool, but like maybe if you were younger.
Literally, like the entire review is just nothing but kind things. There isn't a single negative word in the review. But regardless, it was really cool to see
It's this guy.
Giant Claw
Awesome.
right there. Yeah,
What's
see.
going on with Calvin up there?
I saw one of like Keith's tweets where he screenshotted something that was like somebody was arguing with a review that
Oh god, I
programmed
saw that.
music couldn't be virtuosic or something. But like how do they know that Keith doesn't play that that's an awfully bold assumption that the entire album was programmed, first of all, and then like it's also like the I make the rules style mentality to like like declare that you can't do a virtuoso programming job,
I mean, big
It's
shocker, but
ridiculous.
that guy turned out to be
right.
like a boomer or something.
Sure.
So he was pretty stuck in an old way. But
I don't even see those people. I got an ant problem. They come in through the wall in my bathroom downstairs, and so sometimes I go down and I'll see like 2 or 3 ants on my fucking sink, on my bathroom sink, and then I turn on the faucet, I wash them off my fucking thumbs, That guy, he's an ant on my fucking sink. So I'll throw him with the pile of dust from all the enemies that I've vanquished, that I have, behind my house. That's what I think about that guy and his rules. I think it was Kevin that once. It was Kevin who put it best when he said, "Great, when's your set, man? When are you playing, bro? I can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to hear what you bring him, man.
Yep.
I'm sure it's
So
awesome."
good.
He's the expert.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway.
and you can't see because I minimized it here, but Posthumous Release by HCMJ is playing right now. Remember this if you've been listening at home, because I'll be talking about this song when we do our Spotify picks a little bit later on. That's gonna be...
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and cut to a break. I'm just kidding.
Let me just pull up a commercial here. It's my new Signal Wave project where I play commercials on YouTube and stream them on Twitch. And...
What is Signal Wave? You're gonna have to educate me.
It's a subgenre of vaporwave. It's like infinity frequencies. I'm pretty sure. Like maybe it's like people that sample like Japanese commercials and it's just like loop it. It's like like the Internet Club side project with the barap, it's that kind of stuff. It's like extreme vapor concrete. Very pretentious. Extremely.
What's utopian virtual?
You're asking me.
That one's made up.
That is totally made up. There was an article.
A lot of them are made up, but that one especially, I don't want to say it bothers me, but like it's just like it's reaching so far that it's just, I can't. I mean, even I like to make up kind of corny like fake subgenres, but I feel like that one's just a bridge too far.
Yeah. What music?
There was a Bandcamp article
because
about
I'm
this.
Curious. I stopped paying attention to all the genre discourse very quickly because I think it's absurd and ridiculous.
It's all.
But so now
it's supposed to be fun at the end of the day.
Sure, and so that's why now I'm asking about it. That's why I want to know.
So, according to this Bandcamp Daily article, Virtual Utopia Experience is quintessential utopian virtual. So, lots of acoustic guitars, lots of falsetto singing. These are the things that make utopian virtual.
I can't imagine why Virtual Utopia Experience.
It's like, bro, you didn't listen to that album.
There's that. The first record they mentioned there is the James Ferraro Far Side Virtual, which I don't know. I guess I can kind of see that. It's like a weird 2003, Pixar meets I don't know. I don't even know what it what the scope beyond those two things, those two signifiers, even identify as for a whole genre, but.
It's almost like none of it's real, and people just literally get paid to write things and have to come up with new things to write about. And clearly, just listening to music isn't good enough. So we need to build all of these complex intellectual constructs on top of a singular, aural experience, because that's how we understand the universe.
It's true.
Is it
no sarcasm? I mean,
is it meant to describe optimism? Though that's my question. Is utopian virtual meant to describe optimism in vaporwave?
Well, according to this, so one thing it does say it is less inspirational and more subtly disturbing. So I would say that utopian virtual in that aspect, it's a little bit of an ironic statement, or maybe it's we've all plugged into the virtual worlds where we thought we would find utopia. But it's like when I was, I think I was talking on the Discord, or maybe I was talking in here, I forget, talking about being trapped in the world of Oblivion. I love Oblivion, but like that Pleasantville movie, and I got sucked inside the TV, and all of a sudden I was in the world of Oblivion, and like I was myself, but NPCs could only interact with me with what they were programmed to. So most people, I could only ask them about rumors, and they would say the same thing again and again. I tell you, these kids.
Someone's making a utopian virtual album in the background there.
That's yeah. But yeah, the point is, yeah. So it's a virtual world, so you think it would be perfect, but its limitations make it terrifying, and over time, you would eventually be driven mad by the fact that everyone you talk to says the same thing and can't say anything else, and that everything that you can think and say are all meaningless because the world around you is so limited that it can't process that in any meaningful way.
Also, to clarify, Wit Music said, damn, and I liked that Bandcamp article, and B said, people gotta find fresh ways to talk about music, I guess. And so I just want to say that that article is fine. I remember when that came out, and it was cool. I don't think we're not actually shitting on the article or just taking the piss out of.
Oh, maybe it's broken transmission is the one with the commercials in it. I'm getting my shit mixed up. So
okay.
I don't know what single wave is, I guess. now that I see this article, I was totally thinking about this the entire time. So whatever. But you know, yeah, Tech and I just have no respect for genre theory. That's the whole point of New World. Is like.
But that's but like that's kind of the like. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a music critic. I'm a music listener, and I'm a recording artist. So that's like what we preach, I guess, is that the recording artists don't make up the genres. The recording artists don't decide. I guess
what genres. I'm kind of saying too with the Utopia Virtual, and like also just seeing you guys react to Virtual Utopia Experience getting tagged as Utopian Virtual. Like, did the artists have a choice if they're Utopian Virtual?
And that's exactly it. Like,
and who the fuck cares? Like, why would that matter to you? You know, it's like I remember when Flight. Right. Like my album Flight, which if you've heard Flight, which you were listening to earlier, like it's basically it is a rock album. That is like a progressive rock, like guitar and
I mean,
singing.
At the end of the day, Vaporwave is branding, right? It's not really like...
But it's all branding,
right, it's all branding. It's not meant to describe sonic content. If it can be described.
I talked about this in Pad Chennington's video about Virtual Utopia Experience, which I was intentionally trying to make look and sound like it would be like the most Vaporwave album ever, and I didn't. And I wanted it to not be hardly Vaporwave at all, which is why there's a bunch of acoustic guitar and all sorts of things. Yeah, but what I talked about in that video he did about it was like, it's like punk. Like, was punk a genre? Like, punk rock. Or, like, punk as a movement in the late 70s and in through the 80s and then through the 90s. Like, what does punk mean? Like, does punk sound like Blondie? Does punk sound like the Dead Kennedys? Does punk sound like the Sex Pistols? Does punk sound like the Ramones? Like, what are the common threads? Is it about the tempo? Is it about the instrumentation? Or is it about something else altogether? Like, the attitude and like the look, or what is it? Why does it matter? I guess to be able to say like I identify with a certain genre, or like I'm into a certain genre, and that can lead me to discover other bands that I might be into or whatever. But I don't know. I've just never.
It's good for. I think the whole point of genre is literally just for ease of classifying when talking about it. So that's why it's in the hands of critics. It's in the hands of journalists. It's not unless I think the weird thing about Vaporwave is that they're all like, it's so many of the artists are or started out as the listeners. Like it's like an echo chamber sort of thing, where there once were people who wrote about music while other people played it. It's like all the same. So there's this like there's this like high interest in like the classification system for it while also making it. So you get a lot of people who are just like, I'm going to make this album.
Right. Yeah.
It ultimately it ends up not being your call. Like, you can say it all you want. We said it for a long time that like it was like, this is not vaporwave, like, but
it's Brave New America, you know? It's New World, like, it's whatever.
But we don't decide. It's
Mark, how do you feel about your music getting classified as vaporwave? Is R23X vapor?
I mean, this is something that I have struggled with, because I do think that all of you guys have made things that do fit into vaporwave, maybe more so than I have. And
you sample Final Fantasy sound effects, though.
Yeah, but I don't. It doesn't really sound like a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, cool, vaporwave." Then they listen to my music. They're like,
"Yeah, that's
okay, cool, nice.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna go to this other vaporwave song now." But good work there. But like, they kind of like just gloss over that. But I do think that you guys do take genre really seriously up to a certain point. I think that like once you come closer to the cutting edge, or whatever you want to call it, of music, or just new music being made in an experimental way. Like you guys are always referencing genres from like pretty much 10 years ago and before, but a lot of these subgenres that are currently being hatched, you just don't take them seriously, which I kind of agree with you all about. They are ridiculous and often invented by the person self-publishing it in many cases. I hated vaporwave as a title for my music for a while, because I think that I make music that, like, not even intentionally, I have trouble conforming to any genre due to my own struggles, like following rules when no one's telling me what to do at all.
Right.
Like, I would start out trying to make a vaporwave album, and then whatever my albums are at the end, it's like, this is what you get, because this is what my mind regurgitated. But I somehow seem to be looped into vaporwave. I don't know. That's great for me, though. So.
And I mean, I think it's probably because you've released on labels that have already released vaporwave, and I think a lot of people assume that everything, like once a label releases a vaporwave release, then like everything going forward is vapor to that particular listener.
Well,
which I don't know, like when I made the first Equip record, like I really was digging vaporwave at the time, and I wanted to make an album that would kind of sound like that, but like I wasn't like, I don't know, I guess I wasn't like trying to make a vaporwave album. It's like I wanted to make an album that was used vaporwave production techniques, but I wasn't like, I'm gonna make vaporwave.
Well, and that's why I was talking about Flight earlier, because it is just like a straight progressive rock album, but it was released on Dream Catalog. And I remember when it came out, it made like the r/vaporwave, like best vaporwave albums of the year. It was like Flight by HCMJ. I'm like, but I wasn't like, what the fuck? This is mine.
Yeah.
This is my
I think
serious progressive rock album. How dare you? It was like,
I think we're all very
LOL,
happy
thanks for listening.
to have been embraced by the vaporwave community. You know, like it is a great community, and it is a lot of like-minded people that dig the same kind of sounds. So
yeah, I think there was a period of time where vaporwave was kind of had like a toxic reputation for a bunch of different reasons, and it was kind of annoying to feel like you were looped in with that. Like, you know, when I listen to Heavy Black Heart versus like, I don't know, just like some random first vaporwave album or whatever on r/vaporwave, it's very different. And so when it was like during that toxic period, it was kind of just like, I don't really want to be associated with this. But I think I was talking about it on the other show that at a certain point it was like, you know what, fuck this, like we're just gonna embrace it, and then we'll just make vaporwave like cool. Like we'll just be like, this is gonna be cool, and like I feel like 100% Electronica has done a really good job about that, about pushing past all that bullshit and being like, no, like you don't get to claim this as being this toxic, shitty thing. This is sweet, and so I think it's in a much better place now.
If it's an aesthetic rapper, if it's a marketing tool or whatever the fuck it is, like
be a bit of that.
Who cares? You know? I mean, and there are, and it's not to say that genre doesn't exist or any. I mean, there have been times where I'm like, I'm gonna make a trip hop song or whatever, you know. But what ends up happening, and maybe it's because
that's what my music is.
Well, but maybe and
trip hop.
Well, and it was one of the songs in the pre-roll was your trip hop song from OST.RAR, you know, that whatever that song's called. That's I wish it were longer.
Emotional trip hop. That's what most people say about my songs. I wish they were longer. I also have 5 songs named Airship that I keep forgetting that I keep calling songs Airship, and other people send them to me. So,
but honestly, I think it's because I'm not like Davin Wood, where I mean, Tech will get this, but you know, like Davin Wood, he gets the memo. It's like we need a song that's this genre that sounds like this band, and then he just does it and it's perfect. So I'm not like, it's my own failings as a musician where it's like, all right, I'm going to try to do a trip hop song, and then what ends up happening is that it becomes whatever it is that my music is, and it's like, all right, well, it's not trip hop, but it's whatever. It sounds good. I like it.
It's just being influenced by something, I think, and then, you know, it just, like, to the best of your ability or whatever. But I think, like, what Mark was saying about how, like, we totally do talk about, like, genre from a long time ago. I think, like, there are a lot fewer, because the internet is, like, this constant echo chamber thing where people are constantly dissecting stuff really actively and quickly. It feels like people were quick to start sub-genreing virtually anything. But I would say, like, in 1997, there wasn't nearly as much of that going on. Maybe in, like, metal, where they like to,
that's
you know,
a good example,
Yeah.
The indie tag
like a
always
Viking,
seemed funny to me
metal.
to, like, describe the sound of music. And that got tossed around, like, so frequently from, like, you know, the early 2000s to even now. It's like, oh, what?
And
you know,
yet
like, I asked my cousin what kind of music she likes. It's like indie.
But there's some sort of extra supernatural. If something is indie, you know that means something that you can't quite describe.
Well, it started to mean a certain palette after a while, but yeah, I think even if you go back, like, further into, like, the late 80s and stuff like that, like, there is, like, those, like, it's like this angular guitar style, this, like,
it means they're all cool. They're all fucking cool. They're cooler than you. So just forget about it, you know.
But it was funny when I distinctly remember when Death Cab for Cutie followed up Transatlanticism by, they made plans and they signed Atlantic. Yeah. And then it was just like an indie rock record, and I was like, but it's not independent at all. It's on fucking Atlantic Records. Right. Like there's nothing independent about this at all.
It's major rock now.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, does indie rock, does that actually mean anything? And I think, it just comes to mean something else beyond what it originally meant. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't get into taking. I think, like, Vaporwave, to me, I would think that, like, Vaporwave would be like, Vaporwave is like a part of Plunderphonics. It's a part of, like, electronic music. If you wanted to break down Vaporwave further, if Future Funk, if that falls under Vaporwave for some reason, I don't know why, but if it does, then sure, that's like.
Well, it's because the aesthetics are the same. Everything uses anime. Everything uses there's a lot of Orientalism, Japanese language, and.
Yeah, so it's like, I guess, like, I mean, it is sample based too. So But
it's like faster instead of slower. It's like a totally different vibe. And yet,
and
if you like one, you'll probably like the other.
Maybe, yeah. There's like electronic music seems to want to define itself genre-wise based solely on BPM, which feels really absurd to me. But I don't know. Yeah, it's just like wanting to hyper-classify things. I think it's also a byproduct of very online people being a certain personality type that likes to hyper-classify, that likes to catalog, that likes.
You gotta understand the universe because poetry can't
and so
exist.
And so it ends up that is who the echo chamber is made of, and that's why you end up with like these. Because I used to be the exact same way, like,
and I hated him for it.
And he did.
And now we love each other. And now we're in a band together. No, I'm just kidding. We were always in a band together. Questions in the chat about the city. This city is none other than Dayton, Ohio, birthplace of aviation, birthplace of Kim Deal from the she was in the Beaters,
Ohio
and
Wave,
the Amps, and
Soda Can,
the Soda Can Auto Topper. Birthplace of aviation, as I already said. Guided by Voices, of course, very famous export. Some other bands you might not have heard of: Blind Ambition, Shrug, Underground Rhythm. What was Enon? Marijuana Brainiac, but they were cool. They were actually cool. Marijuana Johnson.
What are these fountains doing? Just spraying water all day nonstop?
This is a great question about these fountains. So these fountains are Riverscape, which was this huge, massive boondoggle disaster for the city, where they installed these gigantic fountains.
It looks like a mistake.
Yeah,
yes.
the promise was that it was supposed to be the most powerful and largest fountains ever constructed.
Sprinklers.
It was like the monorail episode of The Simpsons. They were like, people will come to Dayton, Ohio just to see the fountains. That was like literally the promise. And this is what they are, just huge fucking water hoses that just shoot out horizontally, which clearly is not impressive.
It's not impressive.
Like,
it is just not that
NFT.
cool.
I mean, the rainbows are kind of cool.
NFT.
You're right, Jordan, but Plastic Dents said it doesn't even look cool.
But I mean, it's kind of cool because you can walk along this path here and you can get wet, I guess. Whatever.
Looks like a fire drill of some kind. Yeah.
Oh, we got Keith in the chat. Keith is another famous export from Dayton, Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Astrofang. He said Astrofang rules.
Yeah, Astrofang. Yeah.
They're not. They don't exist anymore. Shiny Crystal Pistol said, "What else is there in Dayton, Ohio? You got
the Air Force
Museum,
which is the second biggest plane museum under only the Smithsonian, and they have all kinds of shit there. It's a great place if you want to go on a date with a girl from Dayton, Ohio, but you don't have any money. Air Force Museum is free, dog, and is big and fun. Bring some good sneakers though, because you'll be walking around on concrete all day.
You see that black building in the background there? That's Kettering Tower. James covered it up instantly, so
I didn't.
It's fine.
It's the Air Force. I mean, the Air Force Museum is pretty crazy. They have the SR-71 Blackbird there. They got the old B-2 bombers. They got this is kind of
an archive of war and death.
They do have an A-10 Warthog, much like the initial release of Ubuntu. They have a collection of... they have a whole collection of Air Force Ones that you can walk through, which is actually pretty sick. You can go through like Kennedy's Air Force One and Reagan's Air Force One.
Mark, planes don't kill people. People kill people.
Oh, Mark, you don't like airplanes? Is what this is about?
I just said it was a lovely archive of death. But
well, no.
I mean,
there's
you got
that.
missiles
There is.
and things
There is that aspect, but
there is for sure. Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. There's
that
like
one looks like a UFO.
There's a whole,
exactly. That's the B-2 bomber. But we would be remiss. We would be remiss to not recognize how the gears of war that have ground humanity, fed by just
we're done talking about Xbox.
It's like the pile of bodies and a whole those fountains you saw, but just human blood. that is, what has fueled innovation and progress in humanity over the last 4,000 years. As much as it sucks, there's no denying it. So,
hey,
I'm not
you
trying
can't
to
make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Isn't R-23X like a warship of some kind?
Yeah, it's an airship. I think it was used for training, but
wait,
I tried to pick something that wasn't.
It's not a 32X joke?
No,
it's 23X.
I know.
It's a British airship.
Yeah, you can buy a model of it on eBay. Actually,
you definitely should try Skyline before you die. I can't wait.
Oh my
to
God!
Skyline this weekend. I'm so stoked about it.
Well,
James, your favorite plane is the A-10 Warthog, right?
Yep, that's absolutely. Whoops, that is absolutely correct, Tech.
Mine was the SR-71 till everybody and their brother was like, I don't like that, so now I have to be different. And my answer is usually the B-2 bomber.
Which is literally a UFO. I saw that motherfucker. Yeah. I was in a summer camp and we watched it take its last flight and it landed at the Air Force Base. And do you ever see one of those things from the ground?
Google a B-2. They look so amazing. Anybody who doesn't know what a B-2 looks like, they look like this, and
they're ridiculous.
And
that was the one that everybody in grade school loved.
Because it's the coolest. Look at it.
The stealth
bomber. It
bomber.
looks like this from underneath.
It's fucking insane.
Crazy.
And when you see it fly overhead, it really looks like that. It's fucking crazy that it can fly at like Mach whatever, like in the upper stratosphere. Completely undetectable by radar because of all of its weird sides. But when I was a kid and we'd go to the Air Force Museum, my dad would be like, that's all UFO technology, James. I'd be like, oh, really? He's like, yep. I'd be like, whoa! But then again, I mean, is he wrong, though? I mean, you think humans came up with this?
It looks like a UFO.
Just saying.
Is there a Canadian fighter jet? I don't know.
No, I don't think...
It's a moose with a rocket on the back.
I did go to like an air show when I was like a kid, and they were saying something about Canadian. Maybe it was just a blimp or like a hot air balloon or something. I don't know.
James and I worked at an air show. We worked the 100th anniversary of flight, it was kind of fun.
There we go.
There you go.
It's got the Canadian flag.
There you go. Yeah.
So they're still working on their stealth technology. They don't know how to make their planes hard. Just paint them fucking red.
Wait,
this is clearly like a Flying Angels thing. It's
Google
fine.
Google the F-117.
Those are fueled by maple syrup.
F-117 is.
The stealth fighter.
Those are sick too.
Oh.
Yeah, they have one of these at the Air Force Museum, and they were using these in the 80s, man, to spy on Russia, the USSR. It's fucking that's the Soviet Union, man.
USSR.
It's cool. That's cool shit. I mean, the SR-71 was from like the late 70s, which was kind of like the precursor to all of this. And yes, Tech, that was my favorite when I was a little kid too. But then I had A-10 Cuba for one of my old Macs, and that's when the A-10 became my favorite. For those who are not aware of the SR-71, it is really cool. One of the very first spy planes from the Cold War era. Look at this guy.
James, Google the Concorde. Real quick, funny story. When James and I were on our way to meet our best friends Mark and Kevin, and we were en route to Japan, we were on a flight. We had to fly. Actually, we were waiting, I think, and we were just. I think James pulled up the Wikipedia article for the Concorde, just so it would be fully loaded on his phone, so that he could read all about the Concorde on the flight.
Nice.
So he reads all about it, like, and then just as we have learned all this information about the Concorde.
Like the entire article,
yeah.
All of it for hours.
There's this group of dudes that are sitting nearish us or whatever, and they're talking the whole time, and they just one of them just starts spouting off facts about the Concorde, and he's just wrong constantly. Like he's just bullshitting. We're like,
It's like, dude, I got the article right the fuck here. It was one of those weird moments where everything aligns, and you're like, maybe there is a universal consciousness that we're all fucking tapped into right now, because this is some whack shit. Concorde is super interesting, though. It's a great Wikipedia article. The way that the, like, non-supersonic airlines tried to, like, they, basically, like, lobbied the government to create laws that prevented, like, sonic booms and supersonic flight of commercial jets so that the Concorde wouldn't be able to fly super fast, which is the whole point, is that you could go from, like, New York to London in, like, 2 hours or whatever. It also turns out that they were prone to explode, and it was super expensive to get a ticket, but as you can see by this picture of the interior, because the design had to be so cramped, that it was not really a luxurious flight. So there were a lot of problems with it, but it was super ambitious, and they have one of those at the Air Force Museum too. So if you want to see a Concorde, it's cool because the nose went like that. It's fucking sick, man. It's dope.
Pretty dope.
So yeah, fly to the Concorde, if you will. So,
yeah. Jordan asked if you have pasta with chili, does the type of cheese, cheddar or Parmesan, determine what type of dish it is? I would say if you put Parmesan on pasta with chili, that does not make spaghetti. I mean,
yeah, it's
spaghetti
still a three-way. Yeah, putting chili
Italian
on it
cuisine.
turns it into something else.
Yeah. Turns it into flyover state food. But yeah.
But it's also a result of the melting pot pluralism that makes America so great. You have Greek influence, you have Italian influence, and let's not forget that the Flamentes or whatever, you know, they were like first generation. Who are the, I forget all my Skyline history tech. Who was the
the Lambrinides. Nicholas Lambrinides came from Astoria, Greece. Moved to Skyline.
First generation immigrants.
Moved to Cincinnati and opened a Skyline Chili in 1949. The rest was history, folks.
So I'm hearing some Windows sound effects in an R23X song just now. So I think that's why you're linked to it, because Windows sound effects.
Well,
Windows.
It's spaghetti, but it's not Italian. It's chili, but it's not from Texas.
The song Lost in Time.
It's got cheese, but it's not Swiss.
That song is brilliant, by the way, Mark. Whatever genre your music is, all I know is that it should be called the genre that James loves.
Thank you. I hope that it didn't come across as me saying like, oh, I don't make Vaporwave, because that's like a very 2016 conversation. And
hear ye, the trial of Mark R23X Younger is now in session. How do you plead? Not Vaporwave, y'all know. More!
Rainy Cakes and Shiny Crystal Pistol, you have to understand that Skyline Chili is an anomaly because of how bad it sounds on paper. It's not about that. It's about what happens. It's more than the sum of its parts, right?
It's about what happens several hours after you consume the...
Dude, it doesn't even give you the bloats or the poops. Like, it totally is fine. I used to eat a 3-way because I used to work there, and so I'd have a 3-way every single fucking day. And I'll tell you what, you eat one of those,
in that action,
you don't want to eat anything else the rest of the day because you're so full.
Rainy Cakes, you've tasted the chili. You've tasted the canned chili. But have you had the chili on the spaghetti with the cheese?
Wait, you guys mix pasta with chili? Isn't that?
Did you just say pasta?
Yeah, so I think if you've lost all credibility to come at us about doing anything when you call it pasta, Zed, all that.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about FM Skyline, the artist on 100% Electronica.
Well, no, but that's who he's named after.
You're just talking about a mound of cheese.
Wait.
Is he named after He's named after a mound of
FM
cheese.
Skyline Chili.
Yes, FM Skyline Chili.
Chili. Do me a favor, James. Go back to that Google search page and look at that St. Patrick's Day skyline. The image popped up almost immediately.
Dude, it looks like Ronald McDonald's pubic hair, man. Seriously.
You're gonna have to. That's just what shredded cheese looks like, Mark.
Yeah, come on.
I've been vegan for like 10 years. I don't know what it looks like anymore.
James, you have to go back so that you didn't pull up this fucking image in the thing. It's Google. Go back. There you go. now scroll down.
Oh,
there it is.
They did this?
And
yeah,
honestly, dude, this looks exactly the same. I don't know.
Dude, it is so grotesque looking.
That is seriously one of the most unappetizing. That is really
horrific. No, straight up, Google Skyline Chili St. Patrick's Day.
What you need now
we'll find a more realistic shot of it.
You need that Heinz purple ketchup to just blast all over the top of it.
That is cursed as hell for sure. Okay, go to image
some
search.
Nasty ass. Yeah,
somebody's got to have taken a.
Oh my god!
Wait, look at the one in the dish. Look at the one in the dish of the toothpaste. Without cheese.
That looks.
Look at James. Yes, perfect.
Okay. Now you're seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah.
This is literally what it looked like. I remember when I would have to serve it, I'd be like, why are they ordering this? It's so bad.
Well, I mean, but it's kind of like the Squid Ink, burgers and stuff,
It's so
every year in Chicago, they pump hundreds of gallons of green dye into the river and turn it green every year.
St. Patrick's Day is... Oh, look,
it's
you
just
can
a
get
thing.
cum on it. That's fun. St. Patrick's Day is one of the stupidest of all holidays. At the Jimmy John's that Tech and I had to work at in Center City, Philadelphia, there was a booze bus that had to stop right in front of our fucking store. That was the only time that I completely lost my patience as a person in charge of a store. It was just all of these drunk fuckers coming in and using the bathroom. And it was about the third time that this bus had stopped and a bunch of dudes came in. I was like, out, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here right now. And like, man, I just want to use the bathroom, man. I'll buy something. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to fucking chase you out with this cutting board. I don't know.
You got your gun out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was
the Jimmy elephant poacher gun that they have in every store.
But yeah, Skyline Chili, the canned stuff, it's just not, none of it is the same. You have to go to Cincinnati or to Florida, or Dayton, or a couple other places, Middletown.
Get this. We were talking in the DBS Discord, and it turns out, do you remember James McDonald's Pizza?
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. There's still a place that sells it.
There's one place in Orlando that still sells McDonald's pizza.
But is it this? Because I remember McDonald's pizza when it happened, and I can still remember what it tasted like because it was fucking weird, and I'm sure you can remember too.
Yes.
So you have to go to this place and just let me know if it's the same as it was in the 90s.
Look, when I was a kid, even as a kid, I was a little bit hesitant about McDonald's pizza.
It was weird, man.
Yeah, I remember eating it and thinking it was kind of strange, and then I was like it was like the second or third time that I had it, I was like, I really like this, and then I craved it, and then it went away.
Well, that's how McDonald's works. Because it's weird because it's pizza, but it's full of sugar. You don't
want pizza. You want McDonald's. Yeah.
So we're gonna take a moment here. We're gonna turn back the clock. Turn back the clock. So what was Calaris up to, I wonder? On October 22nd, 2020, wasn't that long ago, folks. Can you remember where you were and what you were doing on October 22nd, 2020? Well, I can tell you where our friend of the show, Claris, what was she up to? She was checking out the latest build of Ubuntu, the Groovy Gorilla version 20.10, which was released on October 22nd. 2020, and so that's what we're experiencing here. I wonder what is she looking up? Oh, looks like she's looking up Skyline, just like us. So Claris,
What are the chances?
The more things change, the more they stay the same, huh?
and the more they stay the same, the more Claris,
the better you feel.
The better is.
So
also,
eat your Skyline chili at every meal.
And there it is.
so there she is, and she's feeling good. And while we're on this, because we really got into it tonight, and so I let a lot of time pass here. But just to help cleanse the palate, we're gonna jump through the tubes in Claris's house. Turns out she lives underneath the Apple. The Apple campus here.
I fucking love this footage.
And we got the snipers on the roof, and we're going down, baby. Deep underground, beneath the Steve Jobs Theater, into the toxic explosion of the
Toxic.
We're in the Apple Lab. And here's a place where you don't have to worry about Linux. Everything's gonna be
Gorilla-free zone.
It's a gorilla-free zone. I might. Yeah, actually, why don't we just come in here and just wipe them off the face of the earth. Once they were endangered, now consider them extinct. And while we're here in the Apple Lab, we got the M1 information rolling on this, I guess, Intel Mac here, which is kind of ironic and whatever. And this will be a great opportunity.
M2 chip in it.
Yes. A great opportunity for us to go ahead and let me just pop this out. And surprise, surprise.
Oh my.
Look at that.
There.
Spotify.
What's going on with
Apple
Spotify?
We're in Apple HQ.
Okay.
So let's explore. What's Vaporwave? Comtrues? Sure. It's got Vaporwave written all over it.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's get rid of one. Oh, what happened there? Okay, whatever. That's gone. And now we're gonna get rid of 12 songs from the playlist so we can add 12 more. Say goodbye to Let's Wrestle, FM Skyline, Pluramon, Robin Miller, Monomarth,
those are good
Roxy
ones.
and the Photogs, the guy who sings your name over and over, Prince, Burt Bacharach,
Oh my God.
Carpenters, and PP's theme. Goodbye.
R.I.P.
Oh, and shout out to Item Label, who just dropped an incredible new collection of gizmos and goodies. I got the new what's his name?
Did you get Shrimpy?
No.
That's the one I liked. I liked Shrimpy.
Let's hold on 1 second here. I'm really...
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh dear. Here, just 1 second. Let me just drop this up here. There we go. So if we just expand that a little here. Edit.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get one of those PPs or whatever. I really did.
So a bunch of really exciting new products. The one I got is Dinkle.
Oh, I like Dinkle the best.
I took one look at Dinkle and was like, all right, Dinkle is for me. And then I saw this profile and was like, oh my god. And that bell, I gotta find out how this bell sounds. Looking forward to holding my Dinkle. Dinkle also very similar, of course, to the Azamenga Dio father cat.
Yeah, for sure.
Very similar design to Chio-chan's father, who, of course, is one of the more terrifying creations to ever come out of anime.
Be right back, boys.
People are like, oh man, Full Metal Alchemist, it's like so dark. Oh my god, this guy turns his daughter to a dog. It's so dark. And I'm like, yeah, but have you seen Azumanga
Spoilers.
Daioh? Because it is a little darker, just saying. That is scary stuff. Are you saying
Okay,
that
well,
because you knew that I
Kevin
was
left, so Mark, you get to go first.
Oh, Kevin sent his picks in first. Okay, and I sent them in second. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What did I pick here?
Well,
what did I pick?
Far from the Madding Crowd, you picked Hollow in the Ferns by Craig Armstrong from the album Far from the Madding Crowd.
Original soundtrack. Yeah, it's a movie.
Movie.
It has really nicely composed music in it that inspires me to make music like that of my own, and also relaxes me and helps me focus.
Speaking of film score songs, let's slow it down a little bit and enter Bullet Time by Don Davis.
Oh, sick.
This is the converse of that. This will amp me up in times when I need to be energized for 1 minute and 10 seconds or 1 minute and 11 seconds of energy. And I don't know if you guys have heard the original soundtrack to the movie The Matrix, but
just the good one, not the score.
You just watch it. You don't listen to it. You don't.
No, the soundtrack. The soundtrack, not the film score. The good one, not the boring.
Yeah. The CD with the real songs on it. Not
with like Meat Manifesto. Yeah.
Tech, I made a mistake. Just for when we get to mine, I made a mistake.
Okay.
The second one that I sent you, it's off. All right, and I'm gonna have to tell you in real time. Mark, you just reminded me because you were talking about getting pumped up, and I remember that I was getting pumped up just a few days ago, and I listened to a song that helped me do that.
And then finally, we've got friend of the show,
I wasn't done talking about The Matrix. I'm just kidding. That's it. I did sort of add it as a joke, although I do like the actual original film score for The Matrix. It is pretty
great.
That
sick Dragula remix on it.
That's not what he's talking about.
No, that's not the original score. No, but
you're talking about
that is great. He's talking about featured on it.
Yes,
all the reverse horns. Yeah.
I'm talking about the octave horn over and over again, just up and down. But a couple of dissonant notes.
All right, can it copper top?
Oh my god.
the thing was inside of me.
It's about all we can say about Don Davis.
They must have coined Bullet Time with this exact track name, though. I mean, Max Payne must have come out after 1999, I'm assuming.
Yeah, anyway, Thick Edge by VAPERROR. Quit talking over me. Thick Edge by VAPERROR from the Doom Mix Volume 5.
Oh yeah, someone might have already put this on there. I don't know, but I finally got around to listening to the Doom Mix that all of our friends are on, and it's a great compilation. And VAPERROR Jeff is like, I don't know what you call this, like jazz fusion, everything he does, like funk jazz fusion stuff. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's definitely like it. Well, I mean, some of it's got.
I'm joking.
It's actual virtual utopian trap, actually, is what it is, I think.
Right.
Virtuosic utopian.
Those are Mark's picks. Kevin, we'll move to Kevin. Kevin, you are a single guy out there playing the field. Sounds like you've got some hearts to break. What can you tell us about Ken Petrus's heart to break?
It's just a certified banger. It rules. It's got the most simple, like, synth bass and drum interaction, but like the hook is just like gets stuck in my head for a really long time. Kim just rules.
This song rules too. Just everyone take a moment to appreciate Tech. If you've not listened to this song, highly suggest you do, and I dare you not to cry.
Thank you, James.
I love that,
buddy.
I think, Kevin, if you do find a girlfriend, you're gonna have to do some shopping for some
Mo shopping.
Wow, dude. That's good.
That was a good one.
You're gonna have to get a toilet bowl brush, you know.
So I don't even know how to pronounce the artist. It's like, you know, MoShop did the production, but I haven't run the artist name through Google Translate yet. But this is another banger, and sadly it's just the only song she's got. But it's just a one-off that MoShop did the production for, and yeah, I've just been listening to a lot of MoShop lately. It always sounds good to me. It always makes me happy. Really cheery music.
Awesome. Well, I think that any girl who ends up with you is gonna find you to be particularly cool.
Another pop banger, and I tuned into the Magdalena Bay was doing acoustic covers. I think last night. Man, time seems really weird right now, but yeah, they did an acoustic cover of Gwen Stefani Cool, and it actually came on like I had this on my Spotify like faved songs at some point, and I had just that playlist on shuffle, so it had come on like earlier that week, and I was like, oh, this is the second time that the song popped up, and it's a really good song. Sick.
It is. I had the Love Angel Music Baby special edition, which came with a 12 CD carrier, like wallet,
Nice.
CD wallet that you could keep in your car with all the Love Angel Music Baby Lamb branding.
Wow.
I would use that for CDs in my car so that I didn't have to bring in a giant book into my car. Just a little. So.
Jet Grind Radio Future.
That's the song.
In that No Doubt video, that's what I know. And
what, the hella good?
In the hella good video,
Nice.
and lest us forget the Moby when she was featured on the alternate version of Southside. Good luck trying to find the original superior version of Southside.
The original is superior.
Here we are now going to the west side. It's like, all right,
Oh
buddy.
my god.
That song does rule, though. I am a playback.
Like, speaking of like things that have just popped up multiple times, there's this. I got algorithmed a Yuko Imai album on YouTube, and I listened to the hell out of it. It was awesome, and I'm not super familiar with like her body of work, but I downloaded a bunch of albums, and then in the Eclipse Picks Discord, favorite user Lil Liam posted some Yuko Imai tracks, and I was like, okay, this is now like the second time it's popped up this week, and then I clicked on another album that she did on YouTube. And there was a comment by RPG music composer Dale North, like made about 8 months ago. That was like, this album just rips. And then the next day on Twitter, Dale North tweeted a screenshot of that comment that he made like 8 months ago that I had just seen the previous day. And I was like, okay, that's 4 times this week. It's just,
whoa,
that's weird.
That one's
weird,
intense,
man.
Yeah.
Universal consciousness.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
Yuko Imai is just in the air.
Universal consciousness. James, you're up next. I know once upon a time you've had a character or two in your video game history. It goes by the name of Lim, making you maybe the king of limbs. What can you tell us about your selection from that album by Radiohead, Morning Mr. Magpie?
Well, so fans of me being an asshole online will be aware of my Twitter account, in which I was recently discussing King of Limbs. Now, when King of Limbs came out, it was like, okay, In Rainbows like was sick, obviously. Like, In Rainbows is incredible, you know? But for me, a millennial, guilty as charged, who was in high school when Kid A and Amnesiac came out, alright, guilty as charged. For me, it was kind of a shift in a sort of like softer direction, you know? And so I missed a little bit of the edge that I felt that Radiohead used to have, that I felt that they were sort of turning away from a little bit. Then King of Limbs came out, and certain people thought it sounded like pitchfork music, but I think that was sort of a reductive take by people that maybe had a kind of a narrow view of music at the time. Other people thought it was too short, and a lot of people just straight up didn't like it. But man, I really liked it, and I listened to it for the first time in like years, just out of nowhere. I was like, damn, I wonder if King of Limbs still like hits. And so like I put it on, and like I played it through speakers and like extremely loud. And Bloom is whatever, but like Morning Mist, Bloom is amazing, okay, but it's
the best song on the album.
but it's like more like an In Rainbows track. Like it's like a sick.
It's the best song on the album. That's crazy.
But what I love about the album is what like Morning Mr. Magpie is bringing to the table. It's just like so.
It's awesome.
Like it's just all the textural layers interacting
Bloom
with
is
each
more
other.
Bloom is more that than Mr. Magpie, in my opinion. Bloom is literally more of what you're talking about than Morning Mr. Magpie.
Bloom is the shit. I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so dismissive of Bloom. I was just saying, like, when I was listening to the album, it was like Bloom was like sick, but it was when Morning Mr. Magpie came on, I was just like, ah. And by the end, it's just like all of those weird Morning Mr. Magpie feeling it so hard. And so then I got on Twitter and I was like, are people? Everyone gotten over themselves yet? And like, is this album like sick? Are we all like on the same page? And a lot of people kind of were a little too far on the same page. We're like, this is the best Radiohead album. I'm like, it's cool. And then some other people were like, no. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, you know, I guess this is what, you know, it's like for thousands of years, humans have tried to stop all wars, you know, going back, you know, thousands and thousands of years of treaties.
This is the metaphor you're making.
Negotiations and, you know, plans for world peace and all of it. And look what we have. Fucking dirt in the street and missiles and chaos reigning all around us. So
shouldn't King of Limbs' existence post In Rainbows imply that Radiohead never really abandoned what they were after in the beginning? And thus elevate In Rainbows for you in that light?
No, and absolutely, and 100%. And I love In Rainbows. Like I celebrate the whole catalog.
Celebrate the guy's entire catalog.
My least favorite Radiohead album is probably Moonshaped Pool, just because it's. As I was jamming with Liz about this, and I really agreed with her that it's real. It's so overwrought, you know.
How?
Dude's
wife died of cancer.
I know, and I'm just saying. That
I know. I'm just joking.
It has little to no restraint. It's almost like a Muse album if Muse was like if they were all geniuses. You know, is basically what that album is, which is sick. But I'm more into the like even Give Up the Ghost, which is not a. Like I know it's a song that Giving Up the Ghost or whatever. You know, like a lot of people don't like that song.
My least favorite song on,
but there's
it's
something
maybe my
about
least
it.
favorite song by Radiohead. No, it's not. Tinker Toy Soldier Boy or whatever that track on Moonshaped Pool is.
Whatever, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, King of Limbs. But my second pick,
your second pick, let's skip it for now. Don't go down that path.
Well, I was gonna just tell you what it was.
Well, we'll get there. Just don't go down that path.
So I was saying, keep an eye on your ears, because we were listening to Posthumous Release by HCMJ earlier, which was literally based on this song, Don't Go Down, which is a song by Elliott Smith that was released after he took his own life.
Posthumous release, if you will.
And the whole album was released without his consent.
Posthumous release, though.
What?
Absolutely.
Would a Canadian call it a posthumous release?
Oh, because posthumous. That was pretty good.
No, that is.
I like it.
That was around the curve and back again. So yeah, there's a lot about this album that I think that Elliott Smith would not have wanted people to hear. Certainly would not have gone with that album title. Would not have chose that as the cover. You know, this like weird indie branding. Like, this is what Elliott Smith, like, discover Elliott Smith. It's like he would have like vomited on this. He would have killed himself again if he saw this, I feel. Anyway, this song, Don't Go Down, it's incredible because it's unfinished, and you can tell that he wanted it to sound so big and to be... and he was talking about this in interviews before he died, about how he felt like he was starting to finally like hone in on this super massive, huge sound that he had always wanted but had never been able to achieve. But he wasn't able to quite achieve it, and then sort of obviously gave up. And you can hear it in the song, and so it's super amazing and interesting, and also really tragic and sad because it's so close to like being there, but there's just something missing, something incomplete about it, that I tried to replicate in Posthumous Release by ACMJ, probably unsuccessfully, but might as well go straight to the source. Don't Go Down. Sick ass song, great rock and roll song by Elliott Smith.
Well, there you go.
And my final pick.
I was gonna say that James originally sent me Town, from the music from Final Fantasy II, but I would say he wants to change it, and I love nothing more than to fulfill James's wishes. So it is my Final Fantasy II. Hear what your new song is going to be.
So I'm gonna go to town. I had to go to Target. I went to Target to pick up a ream of paper. Had to get some paper. Tried Go Puff, no go. Puff. Sold out, no good. So I rode my bike to Target, and Star Guitar. The name of the song is Star Guitar. It's by the Chemical Brothers. And I listened to the Chemical Brothers, and it was fucking great. And, you know, you're listening to it, and there's lots of great editing, sample-based editing stuff. But there's also, like, a charming simplicity to the Chemical Brothers where you're like, this is definitely, like, 20-plus years old. Because this isn't, like, you know, it's not, like, insane or whatever. However, the timeless qualities are just the way that they build these endless, ravey, drug-fueled arrangements of building it up, and it's like not drops though, you know, like you could call them drops because yeah, like a beat drops, but it's not drops in like the traditional like modern sense. It's like you think the song is like ending, and then all of a sudden like it's not over and it's like harder than before, and you're just like, oh god. The Chemical Brothers are geniuses that are fucking taking me there. That's how I feel when I hear the Chemical Brothers.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
My turn. I'll do mine quickly. I like I said earlier, I had the brownie batter, but I was unable to actually make the brownies, so I was unhappy about that, but I was still lucky to have the brownie batter, and so I picked lucky and unhappy by the band Air, which I thought I just dropped in here, but it looks like maybe I didn't successfully do that, so I'm going to try that again.
That's a great song.
There we go. Yeah, it's a
great album.
It's a classic. My sister Megan made me a birthday gift of a Spotify playlist of 36 songs celebrating my age that remind her of me.
That's so sweet.
And that was on there because I used to listen to music really loud in my bedroom, and she would get annoyed with that song in particular because it has this wobbly synth in the background.
Yeah.
And she came downstairs and she like just burst into my room and was like, what is the fucking song that's just like it took me a while to figure it out, but yeah, lucky and unhappy. Anyway,
That's so funny. Like there was this one time when I was working with my parents on. They used to like to buy fixer-up properties, like cool historic looking houses that needed like a lot of work, and then like we would, spend like upwards of like 2 years like repainting and putting up new walls and stuff like that, and they would be nice about like letting me play music. And there one time I was playing Loveless, and I don't remember what track it was, but like it was loud, and then like my dad like burst into the room and was just like could you just put anything else on? It sounds like somebody is by the stereo with their hand on the knob, just turning it up and down and up and down, and just like it's driving me nuts. I was like,
awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, I am eating brownie batter. Not worried about salmonella, even though it does have raw egg in it.
People eat raw eggs all the time. Gaston had 12 dozen eggs.
I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about getting killed by it because I can't die, but I might find myself shitting into Gaia's heart later by fire tools.
Oh, yes.
So a really good song from Fire Tools' new album EP. And it's really short, but it might be considered an album.
The E stands for EP, Tech. That's a lie.
But yeah, it's an interesting song. There's melodic vocals, and just classic Fire Tools, wild progressions, and 90s MIDI sounds. And yeah, that song is really, really awesome. Anyway, and then I guess
it's an incredible cover too. This is kind of like that David Byrne, Brian Eno album cover,
Oh yeah, it's a house.
And that Consumer Product album
cover. Finally, I don't know what the fuck to do with this one. We're all, I think that
you can do it, Tech.
It's been a long year and change, what with COVID and all. But I think that it's the hope of the States that everyone starts to feel better. Anyway, yeah, the song "Good Horse Hymn" by Hope of the States, which is Hope of the States was a kind of a weird British rock band from the early 2000s, tried to capitalize on post rock.
It's like Godspeed You Black, live life, or yeah.
Like with from like the visuals to like titling to the sound of like screwdriver guitar, like and then the lead songwriter guitarist hung himself, and they basically were at a loss. They released I think another album, and then that was that. But Hope of the States themselves, wow, dang. Sorry, I'm just. Anyway.
Reading a wiki?
No, I was just. It's just weird to me to be really into bands and then see to know where they were at a certain point, success-wise, and then to see they have 3,011 monthly listeners, and when I think about and I'm like, Jesus,
no, they were famous.
Yeah, in my brain, they were so famous. Clear Lake is another one where I liked.
Is it all they ever did was open for some? They opened for some quasi-successful Britpop band on one tour, but no one ever knew who they were.
Yeah,
they were big to us.
You guys remember that band, the Red Walls?
No.
I remember the books.
they did like an iPod commercial. Like they were like a big band. Spin Magazine loved them, and I remember one of my like college professors said that he did a recording session with them, and like they basically like begged him to do like 2 free songs because they had like run out of money to like record the album. And what they didn't realize was that like the label was at the time pretty much like all, you know, major labels were in the as far as, you know, time has gone on, like trying to screw the band into not making any money on the album by like flying them out to all these like interviews like first class in these like posh private jets and like putting them up in like really, really like swanky hotels, you know, like downtown Manhattan and stuff. And like then when it was time to record the album, it was like they realized that like they didn't even have enough of their like advance to like get the album done. And like they had already done the iPod commercial at that point and were like 3 albums in, but like the band was basically like dead broke. And yeah, that definitely made me like realize like, oh wow, like these
they're like Granddaddy. They all had jobs the whole time. You know,
so
like,
crazy.
Yeah. They made like $1 million on tour, and then they just all had jobs the whole time. The Red Wall's 22,000 monthly listeners.
Okay.
It's just like a
like one of us.
Yeah, it's just a
but not as
moment.
much as
so
Jeff.
I hope they enjoyed. Yeah, Jeff's got all the listeners.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, that band Annual Notice by the Trail of Dead, like there's that tour doc or whatever where they
I
like
love that
destroy
tour.
all their instruments like on the first night of the show, and like
So
and it takes them like
awesome.
2
Manager's like,
years
"What
to
are
like
you
make
doing?"
the album. And the producer is like so over it, and they're all just like dicking around. He's like, "This is why it takes 2 years to record an album. Like they're wasting all of our time and money, like just dicking around in here. Like
it's like they're not realizing
children.
that their time is ticking, and that like that time costs money, you know, like
Yeah.
And hey, you know, if I open my ears up enough, I think someone else's time is ticking.